Hi, welcome to Leap Taken. This is Mika. Here at Leap Taken, I talk about all things witchy, craft related, law of attraction, manifesting, esoteric, and everything else in between. Today, I'd like to talk a little bit about why your magic isn't working for you anymore, or at all, or ever. So, um, yeah, so basically, I like to take an unconventional approach, so just be warned on how I troubleshoot spells that have seemed to sort of go awry. I've definitely had my share of experiences where I feel like things just did not come together as I anticipated, as I intended, or they didn't come together at all. I didn't get what I wanted, and I was baffled as to why that was. So here's a couple things you should think about. So I like to use examples when trying to explain this. So I have here I hope you can see. Well, let me just grab it. How about that? So I'm going to turn all the way around. I have a spelled candle here. I actually have some stuff on the side here, but it's a spelled candle. What we call a 7-day candle. So I have this ready to go. I'm going to be using this shortly. So I'm using that as an example. That's actually intended, spelled already for somebody that I know, and I'm going to use it for that. But using this example, it's for success, and it's for success in different areas in life. That's what that is going to ultimately be used for and spelled for. So um, I do the you know I do I'm going to do this later today. I'll put the intention out there, and I'll follow up with other. That's just one piece of another spell that overall spell I'll be doing for this person. But anyway, that's the candle magic piece. So I'll be doing that. And once I'm done, I'll make sure I write everything down that I did. The candle that I use, I'm gonna start actually using pictures. I think or my attempt at drawing, because I'd like to make my book of shadows uh, come alive. So I'm going to do all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to take a what if approach. So I do all this magic, I do all this stuff. So weeks go by, months go by, let's say it's about 6 months, and there's been no success, at least the intended success we were looking for in the path of career and love for this person. Nothing's really happened. There's been no change, bad or good. There's just been no change, right? So that means the spell didn't work. It's safe to say it probably didn't. You look at it like that, like I don't see anything different. So now I've got to go back, look at what I wrote down in my book of shadows, what type of spell did I use. I'll look at the conventional way. What day of the week was it? Did I use a certain oil that was intended for something else? Where were my intentions? Hopefully, I've over this period of time, I've journaled about anything that was related to that spell, either with how I felt about their situation. Maybe, the more I look at them and their situation, I think maybe they're not ready for a love romantic relationship. They seem really immature. Or, career wise, I'm thinking, and they don't seem overly serious about their career. I mean, they don't take it for granted, but they're just sort of ho hum about their work. They don't seem to be really engaged. So if I was thinking like that and I looked in my journals, I might say, you know what, maybe I put that energy out there and delayed the spell. It might still work, but right now, I'm kind of counteracting it with my thoughts that aren't quite aligned to my original spell, right? So I could think that. So let's go a little bit more unconventional with this. All right, we'll take the success and career piece. Um, this person I'm doing a spell for goes to work every day. They do what they're supposed to do, not too much more, pretty much nothing less, just what's required. If you know anything about growing a career, you have to go above and beyond, typically. It's not so much as just doing what you're told and just doing your job well. It's usually doing your job well and something else, something extra that gets you noticed. Having the right relationships at work with the right people, putting yourself out there. So if this person hasn't done any of that, they haven't done anything to really put a block in the situation, but they haven't did anything to kind of kickstart or activate the spell work. So we could look at that and chalk it up to maybe that's why it's not working. They kind of got to do some actually mundane actions to get this thing going, to get this career success happening. So that would be something we can chalk it to. Did it work, or was there more to it? The spell is like the energy is there, but you have to apply it. So we could chalk it up to that. So, okay, but I don't see anything happening in the love department either. There's no success. They're not, nothing's happening. Well, did the person reach out to anyone? Did they allow themselves to be approached? Are they putting themselves out there? Whether it's a dating app, the people that they come across, are they coming across as approachable? Are they making themselves attractive? Do they see themselves as attractive? I could argue that's, if all of these things are in a negative answer, then that's what's going on. They haven't did their part. All right. So that's the first level of unconventional thought. So now I'm going to go a little step further, and this is the part where I see things. I talk to people, and I can tell they haven't thought this more nuanced way of why their magic, the spells, just don't seem to work. So I'm going to kind of go off a little bit more off of my example, just a little veer off, because I need to make it very specific. Um, for anybody out there doing love magic, okay, success in love, keeping it real general, because you don't want to be too specific, because you just want to attract love into your life. From a romantic partner, we'll say that much at least. You were specific enough about that. So the spell was fine, but maybe you don't really believe that you deserve that. And before you kind of jump in and says, yeah, that's what people say. I know I deserve love. Okay, let's peel that back a little bit, shall we? Um, you don't take care of yourself, not consistently. You don't. You don't eat what you're supposed to eat to maintain a healthy body. Proportioned body. Let's be honest. You're not doing that. Um, you're lazy when it comes to certain fashion and things like that. You choose comfort maybe over style more often than not. um, you don't present yourself out to the world as desirable, because low key, deep down, you don't really see yourself as desirable. You don't do enough self care for yourself to warrant anybody to think that you love yourself, because you don't really feel that you love yourself. You purposely avoid thinking that deeply about yourself, because you know these things to be true. But you want to do a love spell, and you want it to be successful, and you want to bring this romantic partner, because there's another part of you that thinks that's the validation that where you are, how you present yourselves is okay. And if that person's attracted to you, then you can continue on this path. So you're on a path. Keyword, you've already magically and mundanely set yourself on a path. A path of not really caring enough about yourself to take care of yourself. You don't try to, on the external and the internal. You're not consistently trying to really care for yourself, right? You're already on this path. You want to get off of it probably, but you're not doing anything. You're on this course. You either have to see this all the way through, these unhealthy habits, these qualities in yourself that's really derailing everything else. You have to see that through. Either you're going to go all the way through with it, or you're going to get off the exit, off that path. But that's where the magic really needs to happen. That's where you need to focus energy. But you want to come over here and make that happen. Here's the thing, that's magic that you're working, because you're intentional, you're focused, and it's in your subconscious. It's not even just it's not about the third eye and all that anymore. No, you subconsciously believe this to be true about yourself. You've accepted these truths about yourself, about really not loving yourself, which says you're not deserving of love. So that spell's already in play, that's already in action. What you're trying to do over here is just running up against a brick wall, because you're protecting that magic by reinforcing it and aligning with it on a regular basis all throughout your day with every choice that you make, the way you're dressing, the way you don't seem to have time to do your hair. You're always trying to put your hair in some kind of protective style or something like that instead of actually taking the time to do something with it, and it looks raggedy. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And if you're a guy, you're not shaving or you're not keeping it neat. You're not presenting yourself in a way where you look attractive, you or that you think you feel good about yourself, because all people can do is just literally judge you by what you're showing them. They haven't talked to you yet, they don't know you. It's just what you're presenting, and you're trying to attract people, so what you're presenting is not attractive. It's not even just about the way you look, fat, tall, skinny, short. It's not about that. People can listen. People who are not magical can sense your aura, your energy, and you're not sending the kind of energy that says, "Hey, I got my stuff together. I'm really, I care about myself. I love myself, and you should love me too. Look at me. You're not giving that kind of vibe. You already got magic in play. You already have it going. That's why this isn't working. It's deeper than ingredients, the day of the week, whether your intention is really pure, whether you really intend, it's deeper than that. You already have a magic spell working with a layer of protection around it so that nothing else is going to counter it or stop it. You'd have to focus on that one and do a real counter spell, an intentional counter spell, and which, by the way, that counter spell is rewiring your way of thinking about yourself. It starts up here and in here. But that's an internal thing. And you can use outside um, things to work that spell. You can do candle magic on yourself, self-care rituals, love rituals, but that's what you have to do. That's why those love spells are not working. Or if they are working, they're wonky. Yeah, you're meeting somebody, he or she just wants to have sex with you. They don't want a relationship with you. Or they want a relationship with you where you're not the only one in a relationship with them, but that's you want, a monogamous situation. They want, yeah, they're willing to accept you into their already system of partners. Um, that's what I mean. That's what you're attracting, because literally that's the energy you're putting out. But you've got to be willing to be honest with yourself. You don't have to tell anybody else about this. This is something you have to really think about and do for yourself. Now that's the popular one: love, money. The money spells. A lot, if you go through Instagram, the Insta witches are all showing you about how to do a jar spell to get money, some hoodoo, whatever, to get some money, right? You'll see people with these extravagant altars. At least I do. If you're watching this, you probably are familiar with seeing some of this stuff between definitely on Instagram, and of course some stuff on Facebook, and for sure on YouTube. So, all right, you do this money spell. You feel that you deserve to have this money, so this is not a question of deserving and all that sort of stuff. You feel like you deserve to have this money, okay? You work, or you have some income coming in, business, whatever you do. There is income coming in. It's pretty steady, but you need more money. You do this spell. You need the money by a certain date to pay some things. You're short, you're behind, whatever. You don't get the money. Nothing happens. You don't pay the things. Whatever happens in the consequence of that. And here we are. We're not gonna make it something too big, like you lose a home, but it's your electricity. It's something like that. A cable bill, something like that. It's a combination of things. Car repairs, whatever. Okay. So you don't get the money, and next time you get paid, you pay. Everything's late. Everything's kind of messed up. You're depending on other people to help you get by, all that stuff. You're really kind of feeling pissed off a little bit, because you're like, what did I do wrong? Why didn't that spell work? I know that spell should have worked. I had the right color candle. I did it on a Thursday. I had the oils. I got the oils from all these reviews. I ordered it from somebody, and the candle. I didn't even work. I didn't even waste the time doing the candle myself. I ordered it from somebody else, and they have all these customer reviews where this product reviews where they're saying it worked and all this sort of stuff. So what's the problem? I even know somebody who bought it, and they said it worked for them. They got $500 the next day. Yeah, $1,000 by the end of the day. All these stories, right? So you're like, why didn't this work for me? I did everything right. I felt like I should have deserved that money, and I still didn't get anything. And we're talking weeks. You didn't got paid weeks later. No, I'm not going to say that when you got paid, that was really the money spell working. No, we're not going to say that. No. Couple reasons. Unconventional thought. Some of us deal with the poverty mindset that we just can't shake. I'm somebody who, I talked about that before. It's a bit of a struggle with me sometimes. Totally releasing it. I don't know if I'll ever be fully without it because it's from childhood. I'm trying to unravel something from childhood up into my adult years. And it's very difficult. And I think this is for a lot of us who grew up in those types of environments where you witness adults and how they handled money or didn't handle money, and so much lack around you. It even if you do well, there's a part of you that's in your head, man. That's still there. But anyway, that might be a bigger issue for some of us than we realize it. So yes, you did the spell, you got everything right. um, but there's still a part of you that has these negative thoughts about money, and you really got to go deep to understand it. I did. That's when you got to do some shadow work. You really kind of got to really pull back and really go deep into your consciousness on your thoughts on this, on money. Now, on the surface, your ego, everything else is going to disrupt this analysis and try to explain to you that you're fine with money. You want the money. The point blank period. There is no more to this discussion. Just give me the money. That's it. No. There's another spell at work. There's another spell at work. There's some other magic going on that you already put into play about money. It's either you have negative views about money, most likely you do, and those negative views is not so much that you're not deserving, it's just that it's this little thing that plays. Man, if it's not one thing, it's another. It's always something. Why do I always, have these issues? Why can't I ever seem to get ahead? A lot of us we don't maybe not say it out loud, but subconsciously we're thinking like, dang, it's always something. Here we go again with this money stuff. Dang, I gotta keep paying these bills. We even make jokes. Oh, I paid my rent. I guess I'll sit in the house and starve now. We don't realize those things. Those are our thoughts. Those are our real thoughts. Consciously, subconsciously, they're there. Those are our thoughts. And that's aligning with that poverty mindset. You've aligned with it on the subconscious level. That spell is in play. You were trying to do a spell, and is bumping up against that spell, and you have a protective layer around that because you reinforce it subconsciously. Also, let's break it down further. Your lifestyle choices, how you spend your money. Have you chosen? Are you doing enough to earn enough money? I'm not talking about just getting a second job, but do you need to get a second job to kind of get out of a rut that you're in? Do you need to go back to school? All right, yeah, I'm going to be kind of broke right now, but I need to go to school so I can get a better situation going on with my career so I can make more money. I need to marry somebody rich. I don't know what it is, but I need to make some kind of change. There's a bigger thing going on, and you're just not doing it, and you're just staying in alignment with the poverty mindset. You're staying there. As much as you think you're not, if you're somebody who does money spells and they just don't seem to work for you, and you're just like baffled because you've done other stuff and it worked. So even if you're not sure, you're like, I think those other spells did work, but why can't I seem to get $500? I see people that get $500, they get $1,000 and all this stuff. Why not me? Right? With my spells, I do it, it's not working. You may have an issue with let me tell you, this stuff is deep in a lot of us. A lot of people of color who grew up in certain environments, urban environments. I'm from Jersey originally. I grew up in this, right there, in Camden, actually, to be specific. Camden, New Jersey. If you're familiar with Camden, New Jersey, You know exactly what I'm talking about. So I grew up in the crack era. To say desperation was in the air, it was. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it wasn't all bad. I hate when people do that. Listen, speak your truth. Of course, every day and every day of my existence didn't suck and was horrible and all that sort of stuff. Duh. I think that goes without saying. But around me, even in those good moments and good days and birthday celebrations and fun times with friends, it was still all this other chaos around me of crack and people selling drugs and shootings and just dysfunctional, and then so many people on public assistance, and we lived in a place where everybody pretty much was going to be on public assistance. Like that was my life the entire time I grew up. All my life until I was almost an adult. That was it. That's where I came from. um, my mother did an excellent job, in my opinion, in raising me to still stay feminine, stay ladylike, um, still have value in myself, because not everyone had someone teaching them that, and their children were reflective of that, and those were my peers. So there you go. So that shaped me. Good ways, yeah, there's some good things that definitely came from that experience, or things I've made a good way, good for me. And along with that, that poverty mindset. Let me explain a little bit more about poverty mindset. Poverty mindset isn't that you think you're in poverty. It can mean that, but that's not necessarily what it means. It's this feeling of lack. It's and it separates you from a lot of other people who talk about law of attraction and manifesting money and things like that. See, for those who grew up similar to me, or in those types of environments where there was money scarcity, which would result in other resource scarcity issues, housing, food, the basic essentials and things like that. For those, if you even if you didn't deal with it yourself, if you witnessed it, your household was okay, y'all ate every day, but your girlfriend down the street, her mom's strung out on whatever, and she got to come to your house and eat because there's no food in that house. The house not clean, and you see that, but you got a couple friends living like that, and this is just how you grow up. That doesn't leave you when it comes to money. It really does alter your relationship with money, meaning there is part of you who is afraid of money because you don't even understand it. There might be a part of you who doesn't think you deserve to have it, because honestly, what does that say about you that you have the money? Um, are you deserve? All those other people. Your mama and them. They all worked hard. Your aunties, grandmom, everybody else worked hard, and now you do this job and you get money, but it's like, should I be giving more? There's guilt involved, all this other stuff, and then there's this other thing. You make your money. You deserve your money, but the way you spend your money is crazy. You gotta ball out. You gotta always treat. You always gotta have the best of whatever all the time. You're in debt, credit cards, all that stuff, because you consistently have to spend. The concept of saving, you're supposed to, but you've adopted this philosophy of YOLO. You only live once. Do what you got to do. You'll make more money. Oh, we'll keep spending. Then there's the misers. I was more along this path. You don't want to. You almost afraid. You get money and you're afraid to spend it. When you pay for something, you feel like somebody's taking something from you. When you're not happy about the money. You're not joyful about your resources that you now have and you've earned or gained. It's hard to let go of it, even to gain something. I'm giving you money to give me something else, a service or a product, and it's internally a little painful to let go of that cash. That's what I'm talking about when I say poverty mindset. And if you tick off any of those or all of them, and maybe not all the time, but some of the time, trust me, it's in your subconscious, and you're doing money spells. It is, trust me, that's the magic at play. And you're trying to work against that. You've got to get on the path of that mindset See that thing through, find an exit, get off. Do spell work to dismantle that. Or at least do spell work to understand it, so if you can't seem to get rid of it, you at least know when it's happening and you can stomp it down and you can stop it before it affects anything else. And you can actually work your money spells to counteract that, by the way. So that part of yourself, that subconscious, that's still in that space, you can do spell work so that you can write. I mean, listen, your spell work can be whatever you want. So you'll say certain things to even address that, so that that can't get in your way, and that money spell will be successful. But let me tell you, your thoughts, that subconscious, all that sort of stuff is a big freaking deal when we're talking about magic and why it's not working. It's not. Yes, sometimes it's the surface stuff. Oh, I didn't use the right candle. I used a red candle. Why didn't that give me money? I used cinnamon in a red candle. I assumed that would work. That sort of stuff. But it could be more that it's you. It's your thoughts or another spell at play. And I'm calling it a spell because it is magic, really. Um, you are aligning. You are putting intentions to make something you say you don't want come happen. Consciously you're saying you don't want it, but subconsciously, nah, you're stoking the fire of that spell, and it just continues on, and nothing else is going to get through because that spell is at play. It's still working. That's magic, and that's why I think a lot of our stuff doesn't work. But you have to be willing to do some work and understand that. And it's bigger than, like I said, what color candle you used. And it's deep as feeling lack and not deserving. Those things matter when you're doing it. So, um, self-care spells, self-love spells, prosperity spells. I still do the prosperity spells for yourself, to help you build a better relationship with understanding what prosperity means. I would tell you to look at other people, look at some come up stories of people who did well. Um, be careful with that because not everybody tells the truth, but immerse yourself into that, especially like the law of attraction videos and stuff like that, and people put that energy out there, and watch how they move and how they talk. Immerse yourself into that sort of thing. Um, and in the magical world, watch a lot of videos and of people who seem to really be living their magic, and you can see it. Honestly, if I was doing this video in a closet and with holes in the wall and dirty, and I'm telling you about prosperity and all this sort of stuff, don't believe me. Don't, because clearly I haven't worked it for myself. And yes, that does matter if I'm trying to advise other people. Instead, look where you see the results of what people are saying. Watch how they move. Listen to what they're saying, because that is how you will slowly dismantle your thoughts, because you'll eventually be inspired by them. Inspiration is perfect because boom, that's another way to go about breaking that spell, that poverty mindset, or that lack of feeling of lack altogether, of your needs, thinking you're not important, or that you don't deserve money, or you're afraid of money. You need to sort of watch others who have seemed to have gotten past that. That'll be very helpful. Trust me, it's very helpful to immerse yourself in that. Read inspirational books. Immerse yourself into that. Do your own shadow work on trying to figure out where this comes from. Identify. Don't run from it. You're not blaming anybody. Not blaming your mom because of how she brought you up. That's not what this is about. It's about you dismantling all of those thoughts. But first, you got to go to the source, and this is all internal work I'm talking about. You got to think about this and really see it through, and recognize it, see it for what it is, and dismantle it. And you got to rewire your thoughts. That takes a lot of work. That's why I'm saying immerse yourself into media and people and things that will align with what you would like going forward. That's why that's important. Listen, look for a coach. Look for a self help coach. Um, Talk to a therapist. Journal. Whatever your therapy is, do all those things, because all of that makes a difference in how you're practicing your magic. This is this magic I talk about, this witchcraft I talk about, is not um, this whimsical thing all the time. This is some serious stuff that we're doing. This is life changing things. I have worked magic to change my life drastically. I'm a stay at home, and this thing is going off. Please ignore that beep, guy. I had a timer on. I am a stay at home wife. Um, this is what I wanted to do. I didn't see a clear path initially. I thought we would have to both be working all the time to make this lifestyle happen. And honestly, because I aligned with what my goals are, and my husband got on board as well. He always wanted this for us. We made it happen magically, and here we are. Here I am. So yeah, those are my thoughts on an unconventional way of trying to basically troubleshoot why your magic might not be working. It gets deep, guys, and it should get deep because this is deep stuff that we're doing. Thanks for watching. This is Mika. Leap taken. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you have not already, and thank you if you have. Bye bye.